Hey, good morning. Hey, did you hear the news? There's a recession. It's amazing, right? Like nobody knew. Anyway, so markets are down here a little bit and retracing into the nice green bar, and it was a powerful day. Yeah. Well, they can deny it all they want. It's like, hey, I'm really not in a bad trade. Uh-oh, there goes another $1,000. There goes another 500. It'll be okay. The next level of support will hold. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Well, you know it. They deny it because politically it makes sense for them to deny it because the majorities don't know what's going on. And exactly, election, right? Lies galore, checks in the mail, the whole story. All righty. So we got this wide range bar. And yesterday that was accompanied by really great. Well, that's not the one that I want. This is the one that I want. Here. Look, excellent breadth. That's what you want to see it pegging above 2,000, 2,200 at the close. Commitment. And now it's in a downtrend. So we've got sentiment, the moving average into the lower bands. And one thing that I'll point out here is that this breadth coming down near minus 400, that is an extreme that hasn't been seen in a very, very long time, decades maybe. So, and Dan, we mentioned yesterday about pandemic. I don't think it was down there, but intraday at the end of the day, because this is a moving average, where it was probably the day to day may have been down here. But in any event, we've got these internals down at these levels, and as you can see, this is trending down as you suspect it would. And this move up here, it didn't hit that red area up there, which was just typical when a bounce off of a downtrend. Now, this making as low as it has, what we will look for, right? Well, two things, but let's assume by sometime in the next 2 weeks, this is making a lower low. It goes down here. Ultimately, what we will see is this is going to make a higher low, and that's going to be a more significant bottom. Now, if you're in some things from today, what happened there? Just came back. My monitor's blipped. That's okay. So if what the hell? A little something going on here. A partial position with a big stop, it's all good. All right. Things are moved down a whole heck of a lot. So today's a down day. The news come out. Well, we'll see where it ends. Let's see if buyers want to step up now as prices come down. Oh man, I don't know what's happening on the screen, but my screens are blinking here. This isn't unusual to have a little selling after an up day, especially with news like this. So, momentum move up. We know that's the weakest link in the chart. It's power. It was accompanied by good breath. So buyers have to be confident now. Is like the hell with the news. This is a low. Well, it is a low. I'm not saying it is the low, right? And because of the way it came down, right, with this kind of momentum, typically what happens is, momentum begins to slow. I spoke about that yesterday or the day before. Right? That's what was happening here. And then we're looking at the Dow futures. We'll look at other stuff. It applies to everything. And so that's one way momentum slows. And then you get a range expansion bar. And then momentum slows by going sideways. At some point, momentum, we recognize it's slowing like here. This is a good example. This is momentum, big downside momentum. Don't expect it to rip right back up again. Sometimes it happens, but you can't expect it. That's the unusual. But now it makes a lower low and it's closer to that low. And it makes a lower low and they're getting closer. And so that tells us that it's likely that things are getting closer to some kind of a bounce. Right? It doesn't mean it's going to bounce like that. I'm just giving you a way that we recognize that momentum is slowing. So that's a 60-minute chart. Now, over the next coming days, weeks, whatever's going to happen, we'll apply that to what's happening on a daily chart. Now, again, we'll see whether this holds, maybe if it holds the top of this range, if it turns into a bottoming tail bar by the end of the day, right? That's new information. That's what we call bar by bar analysis. I can, so this bar is not complete, and I'll see what it looks like at the end of the day. If it's closing down here, that's bearish. If it's a bottoming tail bar that's green, that is bullish. Common sense, no indicators, no gurus need to apply here. They just look at the bar and say, okay, this is in a downtrend. It's extended. Yesterday was a big bar. Let's see what it does today. And that's going to be the process. And it would do the same thing if prices are coming down. Let's say, let's say right here, here's a 15-minute chart. Prices are coming down. Here's strong momentum. I'm not buying that, even though it's down here. If I see this kind of a pattern happening down here near this low, I know buyers are beginning to step up. Momentum is slowing down. Right? Why is momentum slowing down? Because demand is increasing. And that's the process with trading and bottoming patterns. And bottoming patterns tend to be treacherous because there's just so much uncertainty about whether it's really a bottom or not. The longer the time it takes to create a bottom, the more buyers become confident, more common sense. All right, futures. Right, same story, same pattern, same thing going on. Dow is weaker, it broke through the lows here. And by tomorrow at 4:00, we're going to be interested. Is this going to be a red bar closing at the low, or is it going to be a bottoming tail bar? All right. Jacob, SPX, I'm getting to it. I know you want to get rolling here. I can tell you, I looked at the downside. I've got 35.70. Now, things are jiggling around a little bit. The prices move, but that's the last that I looked. I had written down 35.70. And let's look at SPY. I like to look at the gap. Right, so it's gapping down. There's still 20 minutes to go, but so far it's gapping down more than 50% of yesterday's range. So it's in the middle of the range. That's a bearish gap. To recover from that, let's just say it's going to be difficult, not impossible. And we'll just see what happens, and as we always do. So this 368-ish or so, can it get back above that? Well, just looking at that, even look at it's gapping down here. You can see on the 15-minute chart. So it's gapping below this pivot, and it's got lots of support, and it's got overhead resistance. This looks to me like it's going to be a frog in a blender day. What does that mean? That means you're going to get slapped in the face any which way you try and do it, more likely, unless you're like a hyper scalper. Sometimes we call it a beach day, frog in a blender day. It's probably going to be, let's just call it difficult. All right. So futures less than below 50%. Yeah, see this bar here. All right, so SPX. So we know it's gapping down here. I've written down 35.70. So it's got to get through yesterday's low. It's got to get through the day before's low. And just based on yesterday's turn, right? I, of course, don't think it's going down there. Now, what's the upside? I would want to pick something above 3,800. That doesn't mean there's going to be premium there. Right? And obviously there's not. So we look at where there is premium. There isn't much. 37.75. 37.75. You can see as I move my cursor. Okay, that is about the top of that bar. So it's got to get through yesterday's high, and it's got to get into the gap fill. I don't think it's going to happen. Right? Since it's gapping down here, either level, pick your choice: condor, call spread, put spread. I think trading range today. How are things in Florida? Well, it depends on what part of Florida. Where Dan and I are, it's fine. The winds have died down. It wasn't so bad. There was a lot of rain. We sidestepped that bullet down here where we are. We're very grateful about that. Other places are not so well. It's a big mess. I mean, there are broken trees down here, of course, with that kind of mild wind, let's call it what it was. So yeah, we were lucky. All right, so we're going to be seeing the same things here. NASDAQ futures, moving down here. And you see the grind, it's into the void. These overlapping opens and closes, that's where support is. I've explained why in past. That's a base in a smaller time frame. You can see it popped up here. So you can see, just to reiterate the momentum lesson, the momentum is slowing, and you don't need it to be a pivot. It's better if it's a pivot, because now you have a clear level of support. But once you get a green bar, and this one's not done yet, there's still time to go, but I've got a green bar starting and these lows are closer together. So the downside momentum is beginning to slow, but it's not a long pattern in this time frame. Absolutely, definitely not. And the 5 minutes, a wide range bar down, which communicates stay away from it for now. Russell, we want to find the same things. Hey, it's not down as much as the others. So this hit our resistance yesterday, these overlapping opens and closes. And, consolidation day, which is historically the norm. It's moving down a lot, not so much here, but in other markets, it's moving down a lot. And so what we want to see at the end of the day, from the bullish point of view, is that no matter where it goes down to, it closes in the upper half and ideally in the upper third. And we'll see if that happens. Should be a new... Hold on. Let me see what Alex is showing me here. What? Oh, I got to show you a video someone sent me. I'll see if I can post it in the room later based on what you showed me there, Alex. Okay. All right. Interest rate. Well, let's look at Bitcoin. That thing has been wild intraday. I mean, that's a real bar that ripped up, and this one ripped up, and this one ripped up. And so this is trying to hold this level. You can see all the closes are clustered around here, and it's just kind of hanging there on the edge. What is it going to do? So we'll see. We'll see. So far it's holding. You can see the weekly chart, and we've gone over this, that there's nothing below here. So it's a scary moment for Bitcoin owners. And I said I've got a couple of friends that were buying up here at 40,000, and they're like, I'll be buying I don't care how far it goes down. I said, okay. I hope it works out for you. And everything stabilized yesterday, so it was pretty much a good day across the board. And we'll just see how things hold up. So there's the transports. They had a good day. And interest rates, these didn't pull back at all. They just hung there. But the 5-year, that came down, and now it's popping back up again. So, this isn't going to be, 2 years ago, V bottom ripping back up to the highs. Things have changed. Yep. And so, they got the 10-year there. It came up to where we believed it would, and probably many, many others, up there around 4%. And so if we put this on a monthly time frame, look at how it broke out above these levels here. Right? And it's, see the next level was really close by. And so it is extended, but this monthly is a continuation pattern. So I'm really interested to see. I mean, that's going to close like that. You know, the end of the month is what, tomorrow? And that's going to close like that on a monthly continuation pattern. And I'm not so, you know, if this was whatever it was, I wouldn't be so bullish or excited about it because look at where it ran from there, you know, consolidated, it went up, and then a continuation pattern. They tend to be lower odds after a run like that. But so far until proven otherwise, and it doesn't go below that low, that's bullish. It says it's going to go higher. So that's not a good sign, but it is what it is. And, you know, so we'll just see, you know, maybe if it's on its way to 5% or not, or whether it actually breaks down, but that daily is still in an uptrend, and that's bullish. What else can we look at here? Oh, silver, there's just really not much to pay attention to there. It's doing nothing. Gold, you know, that's been crushed. Oil, stabilized, but in a nasty downtrend, you know. And let's go back to the weekly. This is a continuous contract. You guys might remember here where it was negative there for a while. That was one of those wild times in history. So no support here yet. Downtrend. Unless it can get back above that pivot, the assumption is it's going lower. And I'm just curious, what is the pound doing today? You know, stabilization after they, you know, government coming to the rescue. Can you imagine the government coming to the rescue? When have they ever done anything right? Man, I wouldn't want to be holding on to a lifeline waiting for the government to do something to save my life. And the dollar just pulled back here a little bit. So a lot of positive things yesterday. We'll see how it unfolds in the coming days. This morning, starting off bearishly and stuck between support and resistance. We'll see what happens. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. We started putting on more bullish positions. We put on 2 directionals and 9 put spreads. And, you know, some are coming against us here, but that's the benefit of put spreads, just calling a bottom. So they look fine. I said over yesterday's high today, I was going to add to them, which I'm still going to do. We're stuck here with the gap, so it's either going to be a gap that's going to turn ugly, or it's maybe 30-minute high. It's going to be our pullback that we were looking for. Yeah, Debbie made the comment, I forget about what stock she was looking at, but she's like, oh, we're extended now. I'm like, well, depends. Intraday, yes. Daily, no. And yeah, I mean, this, if ideally like this, we sold puts on yesterday. Ideally, if we get an inside bar, then that is a no-brainer. 1, 2, 3 for tomorrow. Target 290, 291, 2, 3. I don't know. Just manage it, but it has room. So that I would love get an inside day, let all our put spreads do their job, doing nothing, and then get 1, 2, 3s for tomorrow where we do directionals and put spreads. Let's see, Dan here on YouTube asking about VIOG. Never heard of that. Well, you got 2 problems. Number 1, it's not a 1, 2, 3. Number 2, you got no volume, and unless you're giving me the wrong symbol. It says here Vanguard, so obviously it's a fund. Nah, I got 0 interest in that. I mean, if it's a broader market fund, I would much rather just trade liquid spiders. Look, spiders is a superior pattern than VIOG. So 30-minute high, I'll be looking for 0 and 1 DTE put spreads today. 10, we actually did a put spread yesterday. I see it gapping down here a little bit, but over yesterday's high is a directional. And there's so many of these making multiple bar turns and have a price void. So now, and we said this yesterday, we're like, hey, we're going to start nibbling. And then I wanted to wait another day to see if we had follow through to this. And so our plan is 100% playing out. I don't know about follow through right now, but if we do, then that's going to be like a 5-bar turn. So yesterday's high, tan looks great. Yeah, Fizzler got an upgrade. Yeah, it's amazing strength. Yeah, yapping up here. Apple, I noticed, had competing analysts rating changes. They got one downgrade, one upgrade. I don't know. I don't see anything to do with that. Wix, we actually entered yesterday long, and that's gapping up, so that's showing relative strength. Charter, I think, also got an upgrade. This is on my list for a climactic buy setup. Yesterday's high. We need to put in a higher low today. Well, higher low on what, Ty? It's not a higher low on the daily. It's just making a turn. Okay, you see why I was confused with your question. Right. So yeah, that makes sense. Trying to go down one time frame to nail the turn on a bigger time frame. Sure. I'll set an alarm here, 324. All right. So yeah, there's Fizzler. XOP. Man, I don't know who tells Biden what to say, but Biden's now on the TV, just threatening the oil companies. You better not raise prices right now. It's like, really? You think a storm shutting down part of the Gulf is not going to affect prices? But oil had a good day yesterday. We were saying 30-minute high. Lennar, which is a put spread yesterday. Twilio, bottoming pattern, put spread idea. I'm going to set an alarm at 73. Rad. Here's a couple earnings stocks. Rad. We didn't do any earnings trades yesterday. Actually, I did BBPY just for the heck of it. I did the 550s because the premium was so big. But these others, WOR, I can't see a gap. KMX, that's an ugly gap. Oh, wow, that's gapping under here. We'll come back to it 30 minutes. The RAR, light volume, gapping down under here, so no interest. PCYG, that's a bullish pattern. I don't see any prints. We'll come back. EPAC, we'll come back. Milken, Climo, gapping down. No interest. Napa. It shows a gapping down 31, but I don't see any prints. But over yesterday's high, could be a 1 to 3 day swing trade. This gapping down a little bit, 114, no interest. Jeffrey gapping up a little bit. There you go. That could be a day trade. I'll put that down here. JEF, yeah, and the Climo 3-bar turn, gapping up, 10-minute high, had earnings, sure. Chandra, let's come back and talk about that more, but no, don't ever have stop orders at market open. Wait 5 minutes. but copy your question and ask me around 10 o'clock when things slow down, please. But no stop orders at the market open ever. And no GTCs, obviously. All right, Mountain. That was a nice reversal. I did consider puts on this yesterday, but the spreads were ludicrous. So I'll put Mountain right here. And those are my earnings stocks. These are just left over from yesterday. AGNC, a Climo. And remember, I told someone in the green room, I would not even touch this thing unless it took out yesterday's high, because it's still 50% of this. And now it's gapping down. So it's fine to keep it on your list because it might turn someday, but it's still having trouble. A coin, yesterday's high would be a nice put spread. I'll go ahead and set an alarm here at like 67 and a quarter. Well, 67 even is fine. Duolingo. I'm personally in a condor. But I'll look at the numbers to see if it makes sense to put on a new trade for you all. Twink, deep retracement. I can't tell where it's gapping, but over yesterday's high, look, I mean, there's not many stocks with these beautiful 20 above 50 above 200. So you got to respect the strength of those three MAs. Pin, we mentioned yesterday. It's kind of light volume, but over yesterday's high looks good. My NVC gapping down low. I was just looking at because of Home Depot. There's our Wicks again, Maxon. Maxon gapping down. We have a 17.5 naked put. You can set an alarm up here if it's close enough to a 1, 2, 3. I'll set an alarm at 2460. If it gets up there. Yeah, I mean that's why Home Depot and Len were strong yesterday. The rates were pulling in a little bit. CHPT we actually got into yesterday. AZN is a Climo. Still looks good. Yesterday's high, 1 to 3 day swing trade. ABOS, I was watching to see if we could get a 1, 2, 3. I see it kind of gapping down midpoint. So therefore it's not going to be a 1, 2, 3, but I'll watch it one more day. Bib, monster gap up. I was wanting to sell out of the money calls yesterday, but there was no strike that far away at the time. Wood is a Climo. Yesterday's, oh, that's a nasty gap down today on Wood. I was going to say yesterday's high, but you know, it's illiquid also, but that's obviously lumber. The journal said, Jeffrey's gap down here now. See, he bottom right. I thought it was gapping at 30.20. Honeywell has to get over yesterday's high. So Jeffrey's, it might come back. Mountain, this would be a beautiful put spread, but like I said, yeah, we got a nasty tick and AD line under 2000, tick negative 1500. Yeah, those are both nasty. So I'm doing nothing at the open here except monitoring opens. You know, see how our watch list performs. J&J, I see Let me check puts on Mountain. Mountain. There's no weeklies. I don't know if these are live option quotes, but you can get $1 plus for the 170s. Isn't that bad at all? J&J, say Jeffries, I told you it might snap right back. All right, J&J, I like a lot over these highs. I'm going to eyeball it here, set an alarm 167 spot 30. No, I'm not in Starbucks, Alex. I know Greg was talking about day trading it yesterday, but no, we do not have any swing trade on.
It was only a day trade.
I got my alarm.